Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine an animal with the agility of, like a squirrel, the diet of a giant panda, and honestly, a face so endearing, it pretty much breaks the internet on a regular basis.
Definitely.
We're talking, of course, about the red panda, but beyond just how undeniably cute they are, what truly makes these creatures so captivating, and maybe more importantly, why are they in such, well, such profound peril?
That's the critical question, isn't it?
Today, we're taking a real deep dive into the fascinating, pretty intricate world of red pandas. We've drawn from this incredible collection of sources a whole series of dedicated podcasts, actually, each offering these unique insights into their lives.
Yeah, really rich pool of information.
We've gathered basically everything, from their kind of mysterious evolutionary origins right up to their, meteoric rise in pop culture. We'll get into their remarkable biology, their complex family lives, and the critical ongoing efforts to save them from, well, the brink of extinction.
And our mission for you, our listener, is really to distill the most important nuggets of knowledge from all these rich sources. We want to explore not just what makes red pandas unique, but why their story resonates so deeply, and frankly, why it matters to all of us.
Right.
We'll try to connect the dots between their specific biology, their, sometimes surprising cultural impact, and the really urgent conservation challenges they're facing globally. It truly raises an important question. What profound lessons can we actually learn from these enigmatic creatures, these shining cats?
Exactly. So if you're looking to quickly become truly well-informed about one of nature's most enchanting, and yet, let's face it, often misunderstood creatures, if you want to gain some genuine aha moments, and maybe even find a renewed appreciation for, the delicate balance of the natural world, then you are absolutely in the right place.
We hope so.
We promise surprising facts, some truly compelling stories, and just enough humor, hopefully, to keep you hooked as we uncover the intricate tapestry of the red panda's very existence. So let's begin by stepping back in time a bit and tracing their geographical origins. These incredible animals were first found, scientifically speaking, across this vast and undeniably beautiful yet pretty challenging landscape.
Right, their native range is quite something.
It really stretches across some of Asia's most majestic and ecologically vital regions. We're talking primarily about the eastern Himalayas, those massive mountains forming a natural border across several countries, Nepal, Bhutan, parts of India.
Yeah, classic red panda territory.
They're also indigenous to China's Sichuan province, an area a lot of people probably associate more with giant pandas, right?
Definitely.
But it's just as crucial for these smaller, equally charming cousins. And we shouldn't overlook Myanmar either, where you find these sort of scattered pockets of red panda populations. It adds to their widespread but increasingly fragmented distribution.
And that huge, often rugged range really underscores their adaptability, doesn't it? It shows how they managed to carve out a living in some very specific, sometimes difficult ecological niches. It's pretty remarkable.
It's absolutely.
And what's truly fascinating here, sort of building on that sense of wonder, is their scientific name, Ailurus fulgens.
Ailurus fulgens, okay.
Yeah, and it's not just some dry Latin label. It's actually incredibly evocative. Ailurus fulgens literally translates to shining cat.
Shining cat. I like that.
Right. And if you've ever had the privilege of seeing one, especially in the wild or even a good photo, that name feels incredibly apt. Their rich, reddish-brown fur, often tipped with lighter shades, it does seem to shimmer, doesn't it? Especially in the dappled light filtering through their forest canopy homes.
Yeah, you can really picture that.
They were first described scientifically to the Western world by a French zoologist, Frédéric Cuvier, back in 1825.
Okay, early 19th century.
Exactly. And that historical context of scientific discovery is pretty crucial. European naturalists like Cuvier were in this era of intense exploration, meticulously documenting new species from all over the globe, often with, let's be honest, fairly rudimentary tools compared to today and a rapidly evolving understanding of taxonomy.
So classifying them must have been tricky.
Hugely challenging. Classifying a unique species like the red panda, which seemed to share traits with various other animals people thought maybe raccoons, bears, and obviously giant pandas, yet didn't fit neatly into existing categories. That presented significant intellectual hurdles for scientists back then.
I can imagine.
So the imagery of shining cat isn't just poetic. It really speaks to their agility, their elusive grace, and perhaps even the way their striking coats manage to both stand out and blend into those misty, lichen-draped forest environments. It's kind of a testament to the intuitive observation of those early naturalists.
That makes sense. And you often hear them called lesser pandas, right? It's a term that, I don't know, sometimes feels a little unfair, like they're second tier or something.
It does have that connotation, doesn't it? But historically, it was actually quite practical.
Okay, how so?
Well, it was, and to some extent still is, used simply to distinguish them from the much larger, more widely known, and let's face it, undeniably iconic giant pandas.
Ah, okay. Just a practical distinction then.
Initially, yes, but it's still worth exploring the implications of that name. Does calling them lesser inadvertently diminish their importance, or does it just provide clarity? For a long time, I suspect it might have unintentionally overshadowed them.
How do you mean?
Well, leading people perhaps to perceive them as merely a smaller version, rather than appreciating them as a completely unique and distinct species with their own incredible biology, their own evolutionary history, and their own crucial ecological role.
Yeah, I can see that.
This historical distinction has definitely influenced public perception, possibly leading to less focus on their individual conservation needs compared to their giant counterparts, even though, arguably, red pandas are even more endangered in many parts of their range.
Wow, okay. So that name might have had real consequences.
It's subtle, but yeah, it's a significant factor in how the world views and ultimately values them.
Okay, so let's talk about those physical traits. Their cuteness factor, as you said, is just absolutely off the charts. It's undeniable.
Completely.
But what I find truly remarkable is that it's not just for show. Every single one of those adorable features seems to have a real, tangible purpose, crucial for their survival.
Exactly. Form follows function, even in cuteness.
Right. We're talking about those undeniably cute faces, obviously, the incredibly fluffy tails, almost as long as their bodies, right? Used for balance.
Crucial for balance in the trees.
Those large, expressive ears, great for picking up subtle sounds in the forest, I assume, and that irresistibly soft, dense fur.
Essential insulation.
But beyond just the aesthetics, these are survival tools. Their fur, for example, it's not just one color, it varies, right? From that deep reddish-brown, almost rust-colored, to a lighter, almost yellowish hue underneath.
That's right. The coloration provides excellent camouflage, allows them to blend seamlessly into the lichen and moss-covered trees of their habitat. It's quite effective.
And you mentioned insulation. How does it work?
Well, they actually have two distinct types of fur. There's a thick, insulating undercoat right next to the skin for warmth, and then longer, coarser guard hairs forming a protective outer layer.
Ah, like a waterproof jacket over a sweater.
Kind of, yeah. The guard hairs shed water and provide extra durability, and both layers together are absolutely essential for insulation. It allows them to thrive in those incredibly harsh winter conditions in the mountains. Temperatures can plummet to minus 20 degrees Celsius or even lower.
Minus 20, wow.
Yeah, their fur basically acts like a perfectly engineered, high-performance winter coat. Keeps them snug and warm.
And I read something about their undersides being lighter. Does that help too?
It does. Another neat trick, their lighter, almost white undersides, particularly on their bellies and faces, can help them blend into snowy environments when they're viewed from below by, say, an aerial predator like an eagle.
That's clever camouflage.
It really is. It's just a magnificent testament to how perfectly adapted they are to their often challenging environment.
Okay, so perfectly adapted physically. Now, connecting this to the bigger picture, their diet is incredibly specific. You mentioned bamboo, yet they manage to thrive. How? How do they manage that physiologically?
That's one of the most fascinating aspects. Primarily, yes, red pandas are gourmands of bamboo. It constitutes about 70% of their diet, which is, a striking parallel with the giant panda.
Right, the bamboo connection.
But crucially, they're not solely reliant on bamboo. They supplement this with fruits, acorns, roots, even occasional insects or bird eggs, especially when bamboo is scarce. Or maybe they just need a broader range of nutrients.
It's a bit more flexible than giant pandas then.
A bit more flexible, yes. And the biological marvel that allows them to efficiently process this diet, particularly the bamboo, is their special wrist bone. It's often referred to as a pseudo-thumb.
A pseudo-thumb, like a false thumb.
Exactly. It's not just a quirky anatomical feature. It's a profound lesson in how evolution solves problems. This pseudo-thumb is an extraordinary example of convergent evolution.
Convergent evolution. That's where unrelated species develop similar traits, right?
Precisely. Two unrelated species, in this case red pandas and giant pandas, independently develop similar traits or structures, this modified wrist bone, to solve a common environmental problem, efficiently handling bamboo.
Even though they aren't closely related.
Not closely at all. Their evolutionary paths diverged something like 20 million years ago.
Wow.
So despite that vast genetic distance, the intense pressure of needing to eat bamboo led both species to independently invent almost the same solution for grasping stalks with remarkable dexterity. It really underscores how powerful environmental challenges are in shaping life.
That's incredible. So they use the pseudothumb to eat how much bamboo?
An astonishing amount. They can eat up to 20,000 bamboo leaves daily.
20,000. How is that even possible?
Well, they manage this incredibly demanding diet partly by having a relatively slow metabolism.
Ah, to conserve energy.
Exactly. It's a crucial adaptation, especially during winter months when food might be harder to find and the energy demands for just staying warm are higher.
Makes sense. Do they have a favorite winter food?
Interestingly, yes. They seem particularly fond of the tender bamboo shoots found under the snow. They provide a consistent, relatively high nutrient source, even in the harshest conditions.
Resourceful little guys.
Absolutely. This specialized diet, combined with their unique physical adaptations like the fur and the pseudothumb, truly showcases their incredible evolutionary resilience and ingenuity.
So, okay, putting all these adaptations together, what does this mean for their daily lives? They're certainly not just, lounging around all day, are they?
Quite the opposite. Red pandas are primarily nocturnal.
Nocturnal, right? Active at night.
Mostly, yes. They're most active during the night, diligently foraging for all that bamboo and fruit, exploring their territory, and engaging in various forms of communication, mostly scent marking.
And being nocturnal helps them avoid predators.
That certainly helps them avoid many diurnal or daytime predators, yes.
Yeah.
And it probably helps them escape the heat of the day, too, particularly during warmer months in parts of their range.
Makes sense. And they live in trees, mostly. Arboreal.
Highly arboreal, yes. As you'd expect, given their habitat, they are truly excellent climbers. Their semi-retractable sharp claws, combined with those long, bushy tails for incredible balance.
Mhm.
They're true acrobats of the canopy.
So they spend most of their lives up in the trees.
The vast majority, yes. It's
Yeah.
absolutely essential for their survival. They can jump an impressive 15 feet in one swift leap, moving effortlessly and gracefully between branches.
15 feet. That's amazing.
It really is. And for those moments of rest and relaxation, they have a rather endearing special talent: sleeping upside down.
Upside down.
They'll often just dangle from branches, using their powerful grip and their tails for balance. Their thick fur provides ample comfort and probably helps with camouflage, too.
Wow. So nocturnality, arboreal living, that must make them hard to spot in the wild.
Extremely hard. These traits contribute significantly to their well-documented elusiveness. Spotting a red panda can be incredibly difficult, precisely because they're so perfectly adapted to navigating the canopy, and they're active when most humans are not. They're truly masters of their hidden world.
Okay, so beyond the visible traits, the climbing, the fur, what hidden senses do they rely on? You mentioned scent marking.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
This raises an important question. Beyond their visible charming traits and impressive physical adaptations, what hidden senses are key? Given their nocturnal habits, their mostly solitary nature, and the dense forest environments they inhabit, a highly developed sense of smell is absolutely critical.
More than just finding food.
Oh, much more. It aids immensely in navigation through complex, often low-light forest environments, especially at night. It helps them locate those crucial bamboo patches, ripe fruits, and nutrient-rich acorns, of course.
Right.
But more profoundly, it's vital for communication and, most critically, for avoiding danger. As solitary animals, scent marking using urine, feces, and specialized glands on their paws and faces is their primary way of talking to other red pandas.
Like living messages.
Pretty much, yeah. They use these scent posts to indicate territory boundaries, maybe reproductive status, even individual identity, all without needing direct and potentially risky confrontations.
Smart. And avoiding danger.
Absolutely paramount. Detecting the subtle, lingering scent of a predator, like a snow leopard or a hole, gives them precious moments to make a safe escape, usually straight up the nearest tree. It's like an invisible superpower, really underpinning much of their elusive and solitary daily existence.
That strong sense of smell and solitary nature really paints a picture. They might be super cute, but they're not exactly party animals, are they?
Yeah. No, definitely not party animals. Red pandas are generally shy, solitary creatures.
So they prefer being alone.
For the most part, yes. This isn't to say they're entirely unsocial or completely isolated. They do interact, particularly during mating season or obviously when mothers are raising cubs.
Okay.
But their primary mode of existence is independent. They often maintain individual territories. While they can be quite playful, especially younger ones, or maybe in the safer environments of zoos where resources aren't an issue,
Right.
their default inclination is really to keep to themselves.
Is there an advantage to being solitary?
Oh, definitely. There are distinct evolutionary advantages in their specific environment. It minimizes direct competition for those crucial food resources, like bamboo, within their territory. That's vital when your diet is so specific and relatively low in nutrients.
Less sharing required.
Exactly. And it also probably reduces the chances of attracting predators. A single, quiet animal is less conspicuous than a larger group making noise.
True. But are there downsides?
Well, the trade-off is they don't have the collective defense mechanisms or the shared vigilance. Many eyes looking out for danger that group living animals benefit from.
Ah, okay. So it's a
It's
balance.
a fascinating evolutionary balance, yeah. It really highlights their unique path as a mid-sized mammal in a challenging, predator-rich ecosystem.
Okay, so mostly solitary adults, but what about when they have babies? Cubs, right?
Yes, they're called cubs. And what's truly fascinating here, especially given how vulnerable they are at birth, is the stark contrast in parental roles.
How so?
Newborn red panda cubs are incredibly delicate. They weigh only about a quarter of a pound at birth.
Wow, tiny, like a stick of butter, you said.
Pretty much, yeah. They're born blind, completely helpless, and they develop very slowly, actually quite similarly to human babies in terms of needing extended intensive care.
And who provides that care?
It is almost exclusively the mother. Mother red pandas raise their cubs entirely alone. They dedicate themselves to providing constant care, protection, nursing, and eventually teaching them all the essential survival skills.
Like what kind of skills?
Everything from navigating the complex tree canopy, finding the best bamboo patches, recognizing danger,
Yeah.
all the way up until the cub is about a year old.
A whole year of solo parenting. What about the fathers?
Fathers play little to no role in their upbringing. In the wild, they rarely, if ever, even meet their cubs.
Really? Why is that?
It's likely an effective evolutionary strategy for many solitary mammals, especially in environments where resources are dispersed and predators are a constant threat. Having another adult around, especially a male who might roam more widely, could inadvertently draw attention to the vulnerable den site.
Ah, increasing the risk to the cubs.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
From an evolutionary perspective, if the male's primary contribution is genetic, his continued presence might not significantly improve cub survival after conception. It might be more energetically efficient for him to focus on his own territory and finding other mating opportunities.
Interesting. How long do they live, typically?
In the wild, they generally live up to about 15 years, which is pretty respectable given all the challenges they face.
Yeah.
In the safer, more resource-rich environments of zoos, where they're free from predation and food scarcity and get vet care, they often live even longer, sometimes up to 20 years.
20 years? That's quite a while. Okay, let's pivot slightly. Let's unpack this. Because there are some really common, deeply ingrained ideas about red pandas that just aren't true. And it feels vital we set the record straight, for their sake.
Absolutely. Misinformation can be harmful.
Right. For instance, there's a common myth that red pandas are aggressive animals.
Yeah, you hear that sometimes.
But what's the truth there?
Like most wild animals, they are generally only aggressive in self-defense, like if they feel cornered or directly threatened, or sometimes during intense competition in the mating season.
So not naturally aggressive.
Not at all. They're inherently shy creatures and vastly prefer to avoid confrontation. Their primary defense mechanism is almost always to quickly climb the nearest tree and just disappear. Fleeing is plan A.
Okay, good to know. Another one, and this one seems dangerous, is the myth that red pandas make good pets.
Oh, that's a really damaging one, and completely, unequivocally false.
Why is it so bad?
Well, firstly, it's illegal to own them in most places, but more importantly, they have incredibly complex social, dietary, and spatial needs that simply cannot be met properly in a domestic environment.
Like needing lots of space and specific food.
Exactly. They need vast naturalistic territories, ideally with lots of trees to climb. They need that very specific high-volume bamboo diet, supplemented correctly. And fundamentally, they are wild animals, not domesticated companions bred over centuries to live with humans.
So keeping one as a pet would be harmful.
Severely harmful to the individual animal's welfare, yes. And it also contributes to the illegal wildlife trade, which directly undermines conservation efforts for the species in the wild. It's just wrong on every level.
Got it. No red panda pets.
Okay, maybe the most common misconception, that red pandas are closely related to giant pandas.
Ah, yes. The name confusion strikes again.
So what's the real story there? Are they cousins? Not closely related at all, actually. The truth is, Their evolutionary paths diverged a staggering 20 million years ago.
20 million, that's immense.
It really is. They belong to an entirely separate taxonomic family, the Ailuridae family, of which they're the only living member.
So they're unique. Who are they more closely related to then?
Genetically, believe it or not, they're somewhat more closely related to animals like raccoons, skunks, and weasels in the broader Mustaloidea superfamily,
Mm.
but still distinct enough to warrant their own unique family.
Wow. So it's really crucial we don't misinterpret their behavior, like mistaking shyness for friendliness.
Yes, that can lead to dangerous situations for both humans and the animals.
And the ethics of exotic pet ownership are pretty clear. It's harmful, illegal, and bad for conservation.
Couldn't said it better myself.
Okay, so if we connect this to the bigger picture, understanding their unique place often helps to look at who they're like, maybe through that convergent evolution thing, and also who they compete with in the wild.
Exactly. It helps contextualize them. While they aren't close relatives of giant pandas, they do share some fascinating similarities with other animals, often through convergent evolution, like we discussed with the pseudothumb.
Like who else?
Well, they're quite like raccoons in several intriguing ways. Both are generally omnivorous, though red pandas lean heavily vegetarian. Both have those remarkably dexterous hands, or paws, allowing them to manipulate food with surprising skill. And both are excellent climbers.
Okay, raccoons, I can see that. Anyone else?
Ecologically, you could draw some parallels with koalas, too.
Koalas. How?
Both are highly arboreal, spending most of their lives in trees. Both depend heavily on a specific, relatively low-nutrient plant diet, bamboo for red pandas, eucalyptus for koalas. And both possess thick, insulating fur adapted to their respective climates.
Interesting parallels. Shows how nature finds similar solutions.
It really does, across vastly different evolutionary lineages. Now, turning to their rivals in the wild, the challenges they face are significant, often life-threatening.
Who are the main threats?
Snow leopards are formidable predators, especially in the higher altitude parts of their range. They directly compete for food sometimes, but mostly they prey on red pandas.
Snow leopards. Wow.
Golden eagles are a constant aerial threat, particularly dangerous for the vulnerable red panda cubs, who are small and relatively defenseless when they first start exploring outside the den.
Eagles. Right.
And then there are tolls, also known as Asian wild dogs. They're highly effective pack hunters. They can coordinate to pursue and hunt even adult red pandas, making them a serious danger on the ground.
Pack hunters sound terrifying. So how do red pandas even survive with all these rivals?
Well, despite these formidable threats, they do possess unique advantages. Their incredibly thick fur, as we discussed, isn't just for warmth. It likely offers a degree of physical protection against less determined predators, too.
Like a fluffy shield.
Haha, maybe a bit. Their flexible diet is also key. Incorporating fruits, roots, and acorns means they aren't entirely reliant on just bamboo, which can be sparse seasonally. This helps them survive periods of scarcity.
Right, dietary backup plan.
And as we've established, their excellent climbing skills are probably their ultimate escape route. They can quickly ascend to safety high in the canopy when faced with danger on the forest floor. They are truly masters of evasion.
Masters of evasion, I like that. It's incredible how many unique adaptations they have just to survive day to day. But let's switch gears now, because here's where it gets really interesting for me. How these fluffy creatures have truly captured the public imagination and media. They've reached far beyond their natural, secluded habitats.
They really have become global icons, haven't they?
Absolutely. I mean, who hasn't seen them now? Pixar's brilliant film, Turning Red, for example. That brought the red panda right into the living rooms of millions, cleverly using the animal as this central metaphor for adolescence, transformation, handling big emotions.
Such a clever use of the animal.
It really shaped a generation's understanding and, frankly, affection for the species. Then you have things like Netflix's Our Planet series. Stunning cinematography, showing them in their natural, wild splendor, educating viewers about their behaviors, and importantly, the silent struggles they face.
Those documentaries are so powerful.
And even in classic anime, like Rascal the Raccoon, okay, maybe not always a red panda specifically, but that archetype of the cute, shy, dexterous forest creature, it often resonates deeply with red panda characteristics and charm.
Yeah, that archetype is definitely popular.
These representations are incredibly powerful, aren't they? They vividly illustrate the power of media in shaping public perception and, crucially, generating that vital conservation interest. When people see them depicted so positively, so endearingly.
It fosters empathy.
Exactly. Deep empathy, a sense of wonder, and often an urgent desire to protect them. It transforms them from just another species name into these beloved figures.
Which leads perfectly into their internet fame. What's truly fascinating here is just how rapidly they become bona fide internet icons.
Oh, totally. They're everywhere online.
Right. But this immediately raises an important question for us. Does all that internet fame actually translate into real-world conservation impact? Or is it just, fleeting attention?
That's a good question. What do you think?
Well, red pandas are undeniably internet famous. Thanks to their adorable, almost cartoon-like faces, the endless funny memes they inspire, all those Instagram and TikTok accounts dedicated solely to their charm.
That hashtag red panda has billions of views, right?
Over 1 billion on TikTok alone? It's staggering. This level of viral exposure is unprecedented for many endangered species. On one hand, that increased awareness is fantastic. It brings the red panda's existence, and hopefully its plight, to a global audience who might never have encountered them otherwise.
So it can inspire donations, spark conversation.
Exactly. Rally supporters. But it's also a double-edged sword.
How
Sometimes the intense focus purely on their cuteness can unfortunately overshadow the reality of their complex needs as wild animals. It can lead to misunderstanding.
like people wanting them as pets again? Sadly, yes. The desire to have a cute pet red panda, after seeing endless videos online, has fueled illegal wildlife trafficking, despite them being utterly unsuitable as pets. We also see trends like unethical selfie zoos or promoting interactions where animal welfare is severely compromised purely for viral content.
Oh, that's awful.
It shows that awareness alone isn't enough. It needs to be coupled with accurate education, a deep understanding of their wild nature, and truly ethical engagement. We need to ensure internet fame serves rather than harms their real conservation needs.
That's a critical point, responsible engagement. And beyond the viral videos and movies, these animals hold a much deeper, more symbolic significance in some cultures and for organizations, right? Grounding their appeal in something more enduring.
Absolutely. In Nepalese culture, for instance, red pandas traditionally symbolize good luck.
Good luck.
Interesting.
Yeah, a deeply ingrained belief connecting the animal to positive fortune, prosperity, well-being. It creates this profound cultural reverence for the species.
And in China?
In parts of Chinese culture, they're often seen to symbolize friendship, fostering a sense of connection, companionship, harmony. This symbolic value elevates them far beyond just being an animal. They become cultural touchstones, embedded in folklore and tradition.
That's powerful.
And it's not just ancient beliefs. They're very much part of modern advocacy, too. Red pandas serve as mascots for several prominent international conservation groups.
Using their appeal to draw attention.
Precisely. Cleverly leveraging their widespread appeal and endearing image to draw crucial attention to broader environmental issues and the urgent need for biodiversity protection. It reflects that deep historical and cultural significance of animals as symbols. When an animal embodies concepts like luck or friendship, it creates a powerful emotional bond that can genuinely drive collective action and protection efforts.
That cultural connection adds another layer. Now, connecting this to the bigger picture, you mentioned zoos earlier. Zoos and sanctuaries seem to play a really critical, maybe multifaceted role in their survival, especially for species as endangered as the red panda.
They play an absolutely indispensable role, yes. One of their most vital functions is through meticulously planned conservation breeding programs.
Breeding programs.
What do they involve?
These programs are designed not just to simply increase red panda numbers in a controlled environment, but also, crucially, to carefully manage genetic diversity across the entire global captive population.
Why is genetic diversity so important?
It's absolutely crucial to prevent inbreeding, which can lead to genetic weaknesses and reduced resilience in the population. Managing diversity ensures the long-term health and viability of the species, effectively creating a genetic safety net against potential catastrophic declines or diseases wiping out wild populations.
Like an insurance policy for the species.
Exactly, a living insurance policy. And beyond breeding, zoos are incredibly powerful platforms for education and awareness. Millions of visitors each year get that invaluable opportunity to see red pandas up close, learn about their unique biology, their natural habitat, the threats they face.
That direct connection must be impactful. It really is. It often sparks a lifelong passion for conservation in people. Furthermore, zoos offer unparalleled research opportunities for scientists. Studying them in a more controlled setting allows for detailed behavioral observations, like precisely understanding their bamboo nutritional needs.
Which helps feed them better in zoos.
Exactly. And that knowledge can even inform habitat management strategies back in the wild. And remarkably, some zoos have even achieved significant success, reintroducing red pandas born in captivity back into carefully selected ancestral homes in Asia.
Wow, reintroduction. That's amazing.
It's the ultimate goal for many programs and a true testament to the success of these comprehensive efforts when done properly.
That's a powerful argument for the role of good modern zoos. So what does this mean for people listening who might want to see and support red pandas responsibly? Are there specific places that are doing a great job?
Yes, there are truly exemplary institutions leading the way, setting the gold standard. The National Zoo in Washington, D.C., for example, is renowned globally for its red panda exhibit and its strong commitment to international conservation.
Okay, National Zoo.
The San Diego Zoo is another top-tier facility, widely known for its extensive research and very successful breeding programs. Zoo Atlanta also stands out for its dedicated expert animal care and its great public engagement initiatives.
And outside the U.S., you mentioned a sanctuary.
Right. The Red Panda Sanctuary in Nepal offers a more direct in-situ conservation experience, meaning conservation efforts happen right within the animal's natural habitat, often involving local communities directly in their protection efforts.
What makes these places great? Is it just having red pandas?
No, it's much more than that. It's their dedication to providing large, naturalistic enclosures that really cater to the animal's arboreal needs, giving them plenty of space to climb and explore. It's their robust breeding programs adhering to strict genetic management protocols. And fundamentally, it's their unwavering commitment to dedicated, expert animal care, ensuring the welfare, enrichment, and overall health of every single individual animal.
So visiting and supporting those kinds of accredited institutions is a good way to help.
A fantastic and impactful way for people to contribute directly to red panda conservation efforts globally, yes.
Okay, but this raises an important, maybe complex question. How does life in captivity, even in the best zoos, truly compare to the, well, harsh realities of the wild?
That's a comparison that understandably sparks significant ethical discussions, and it's vital to look at the practical differences clearly. In a well-managed captive environment, red pandas benefit immensely. They get a guaranteed regular food supply, no scarcity, no constant energy drain foraging for 20,000 leaves.
Right, reliable food.
They live in a safe, controlled environment, completely free from the immediate threat of predators like snow leopards or eagles. And critically, they receive comprehensive veterinary care, addressing illnesses or injuries promptly, conditions that would almost certainly be fatal in the wild.
Okay, so definite benefits in terms of safety and health. What about the wild?
The wild presents a stark contrast. It's a daily battle for survival. Food scarcity is a real constant challenge, especially during harsh winters or if their habitat is degraded. Predators are an ever-present danger, forcing constant vigilance and energy expenditure on evasion.
And habitat loss itself.
Exactly. Habitat loss, deforestation, human encroachment, the impacts of climate change. These are continuous, escalating threats, relentlessly shrinking their territory, fragmenting populations, diminishing resources.
So when we think about the ethics,
We have to grapple with it. While the ideal is always for animals to thrive in their natural habitats, for critically endangered species like the red panda, well-managed conservation programs and accredited zoos and sanctuaries can literally be their last, best hope for survival as a species. It's about balancing the welfare of individual animals currently in care with the overarching existential imperative of preserving the entire species. A delicate, crucial balance.
that ethical balance is so important to keep in mind. But let's turn now to something truly special, because what I find incredible is how these animals don't just exist out there. They touch our lives in really personal, sometimes profound ways.
Those human-animal connection stories are powerful.
They really are. We hear so many stories, for instance, of people forming these deep connections. Like, imagine Emily, who has a special close-up encounter at a zoo event, maybe a feeding demonstration or a behind-the-scenes tour, and just instantly falls in love, becoming a lifelong advocate.
It happens all the time. That spark.
Or David, maybe an intrepid hiker, who actually manages the near-impossible feat of spotting one in the wild during a trek in Nepal. A truly rare, unforgettable experience that fundamentally changes his perspective on conservation.
Seeing one in the wild must be life-changing.
And then there's Sarah, who dedicates countless hours volunteering at her local zoo specifically because of their red panda exhibit, giving her time to their care, enrichment, educating others.
Those volunteers are heroes.
These personal connections are just so powerful, aren't they? They transform that abstract idea of an endangered species into a tangible, beloved being.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating, picking up on those personal connections, is how these individual stories often highlight broader themes. Themes of resilience, community, hope, echoing the challenges and triumphs of the species itself.
Can you give an example?
Well, take the memorable tale of Rusty, the red panda, who famously escaped his enclosure at the National Zoo in D.C.
Oh yeah, I remember that. The internet went crazy.
Exactly. Everyone was tracking his brief urban adventure. But eventually, he returned safely. That story captured public attention, not just for the novelty, but it kind of symbolized Rusty's innate wildness persisting even in captivity, and it really united a city in concern for this one little animal.
A unifying escape artist.
Uh-huh, something like that. Then there's the incredible work of that sanctuary in Nepal we mentioned, successfully rehabilitating an injured wild red panda caught in a poacher's snare, giving it a vital second chance at life. That highlights the tireless dedication of on-the-ground conservationists.
Real hands-on rescue work.
And, of course, Zoo Atlanta's breeding program, countless success stories of healthy cubs being born and raised, meticulously contributing to that crucial genetic diversity and population numbers needed for the species' future. These narratives go beyond just cute anecdotes. They underscore the profound efforts being made and the inherent resilience of these animals, inspiring both hope and action.
These stories really aren't just cute anecdotes, you're right. They underscore this profound connection we can have, something almost spiritual sometimes that goes beyond just observation to something really transformative. Like, think about a child with autism who finds solace and maybe bonds deeply with a red panda at a specialized animal encounter, finding a unique interaction that offers a pathway to understanding or calm.
Those therapeutic connections are amazing.
Or how red pandas brought a zoo community together during the really isolating times of the COVID-19 pandemic, providing this much-needed source of joy, wonder, continuity, when everything else felt so uncertain.
A furry beacon of hope.
Exactly. These tales of human-animal interaction are incredibly powerful, creating this emotional resonance that can genuinely catalyze broader conservation efforts. And then there's that heartwarming Christmas story you hear sometimes.
Oh, the one about Luna.
Yeah. The zoo red panda named Luna, whose gentle presence somehow helped a lost little boy find his worried parents during a busy winter break event.
A sweet story.
But the kicker is, the boy was so inspired by that moment of connection with Luna, he grew up to become a dedicated zookeeper himself, eventually caring for Luna's own cubs years later.
Wow, full circle. That's beautiful.
Isn't it? It just perfectly illustrates the psychological benefits of these interactions and how individual touching moments can literally shape lives and inspire dedicated conservation action across generations. These personal connections and compelling stories offer so much hope. But now, okay, let's unpack this. Because behind all the cuteness and the captivating tales is a really urgent, pretty sobering problem. These animals, despite all their charm and resilience, are in serious trouble.
Yeah, the reality is stark.
The situation is genuinely dire. Red pandas were officially listed as endangered back in 2008 by the IUCN, the International Union for Conservation of Nature. That's the global authority.
And the numbers are alarming.
Truly alarming. There are only an estimated 10,000 mature individuals left in the wild. Maybe even fewer now.
10,000 globally. That's shockingly low.
It really is, especially for a species that once had a much broader range. This isn't just a concern for the red panda itself. It's like a bright red flag flashing for the health of their entire unique ecosystem. It indicates deeper environmental stresses affecting countless other species, including, ultimately, us.
Absolutely. They're an indicator species in many ways. And this raises that critical question. What exactly is driving such a significant and alarming population decline?
What are the main culprits?
The threats are multifaceted, deeply interconnected, and unfortunately, they compound each other. First and foremost is rampant habitat loss.
How bad is it?
An astonishing 95% of their historical habitat is estimated to have been destroyed or severely degraded.
95%. That's almost everything.
It's devastating. And this isn't just about trees disappearing. It's about their entire forest ecosystem unraveling. When their bamboo forests are cleared for agriculture, logging, human settlement, grazing livestock, they lose everything. Their primary food source, their essential shelter, their safe routes for movement between territories.
It impacts everything for them.
Completely. It makes it incredibly harder to find the massive quantities of bamboo they need, leading to malnutrition, reduced breeding success. It's a cascade effect. Poaching is another critical threat.
People hunt them. Why?
Driven by illegal demand for their luxurious fur, sadly, which is sometimes used for hats or traditional clothing in some areas. And tragically, sometimes for that illegal exotic pet trade we talked about.
Ugh. And climate change. Does that play a role?
Hugely. Climate change is exacerbating all these existing problems. Shifting weather patterns, increased temperatures, changes in rainfall, more frequent extreme weather events. These directly affect the growth and distribution of bamboo.
Making their main food source unreliable.
Less reliable, yes, and potentially forcing them into smaller, more fragmented areas where they're even more vulnerable. These threats don't act in isolation. Habitat loss makes them more vulnerable to poaching because they're pushed into areas with more human contact. Climate change further degrades the remaining habitat. It creates this devastating, accelerating cycle, pushing the species closer to extinction.
That combination of threats sounds overwhelming. But as you said, it's not all doom and gloom. There are truly incredible organizations, dedicated people, working tirelessly to turn the tide, protecting these magnificent creatures against pretty overwhelming odds.
Absolutely, there's a dedicated global community fighting for them.
Who are some of the key players?
Well, leading the charge specifically for red pandas is the Red Panda Network, or RPN. They're passionately dedicated to red panda conservation, working directly with local communities in their native range, fostering stewardship from the ground up.
Working with local people sounds crucial.
It's essential for long-term success. Then you have major international players, like the World Wildlife Fund, WWF, a name recognized globally for its extensive conservation work. They have significant programs focused on red pandas and protecting their crucial forest habitats, advocating for policy changes, funding research.
WWF, right.
And of course, the IUCN, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, which we mentioned earlier. They're the authoritative body that meticulously assesses the conservation status of species like red pandas, using science to guide international conservation strategies. They provide the scientific backbone for many efforts.
So, RPN, WWF, IUCN, these organizations are the backbone of hope.
They really are, providing critical expertise, essential funding, and perhaps most importantly, a coordinated global approach to a problem that spans multiple countries and continents. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, what's really effective about these groups is they aren't just doing one thing. They're tackling the problem from multiple interconnected angles. They understand that a holistic, comprehensive approach is absolutely necessary for any lasting impact.
So what kinds of strategies are they using?
Their strategies are diverse, intelligent, really designed for maximum effectiveness. Habitat preservation and expansion are obviously top priorities. Protecting existing bamboo forests, restoring degraded areas, creating new safe zones, and crucially, corridors that allow fragmented populations to connect and interbreed.
Wildlife corridors, yeah.
There's even an ambitious but vital action plan aiming to expand protected red panda habitats by a significant 50%, recognizing that more secure territory is just fundamental for their survival.
50% increase, wow. What else?
Research is also fundamental. Scientists actively track wild red pandas using GPS collars, camera traps, genetic analysis, all to understand their movements, population dynamics, breeding success, specific behaviors. That data directly informs more effective, targeted conservation strategies.
Data-driven conservation.
Exactly. Community engagement and global awareness campaigns are also vital, empowering the very people who live alongside these animals to become their most ardent protectors, while also generating international support and funding.
Makes sense. Local buy-in is key.
Absolutely. These groups also actively support reforestation efforts, planting new trees, restoring degraded areas, and crucially, they encourage individuals like us listeners to reduce our personal carbon footprint, recognizing that collective individual actions help combat climate change, which, as we discussed, is a major driver of habitat loss.
So it all connects. Is there proof this works?
Yes. A powerful testament is that success story in Nepal. Concerted conservation initiatives, blending community work, habitat protection, anti-poaching patrols, they've actually led to a measurable increase in the red panda population in certain protected areas. It proves unequivocally that dedicated, intelligent work truly can make a difference.
That success story from Nepal is genuinely inspiring. And what I find truly remarkable is that often individual heroes are the driving force behind these huge efforts. These visionary conservation leaders who dedicate their lives, often against incredible odds, just to protect red pandas.
Those passionate individuals are the heart of the movement.
Right. Like Dr. Angela Gladstone, for example, a pioneering force who played a pivotal role in founding the Red Panda Network, essentially creating this centralized global force for red panda advocacy and action.
A true trailblazer.
Then there's Samael, a passionate Nepalese conservationist working directly with local communities, tirelessly protecting habitats, engaging villagers. He understands that effective conservation starts by empowering the people who share the land.
That community focus again. So important.
And Brian Williams, a dedicated zoologist and researcher focusing intensely on studying red panda behavior, unlocking those crucial secrets about their daily lives, their social structures, their ecological needs, information that directly informs how we can best protect them.
Their work provides the essential knowledge base.
These individuals, and countless others like them, they're the unsung champions of the red panda, aren't they? Turning passion into tangible, life-saving action.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating is how that rigorous scientific inquiry directly informs and strengthens the conservation actions. It's an indispensable feedback loop.
The science and the action working together.
Exactly. Researchers like Brian Williams and many others are making pivotal contributions. For instance, studying bamboo nutrition in detail helps develop better diets for zoo animals. That means healthier animals in captivity, more successful breeding programs, and ultimately a better chance for successful reintroductions if needed.
Makes sense. Better zoo diets are key.
Developing those sophisticated conservation breeding programs, often managed globally through things like the IUCN species survival plans, is another cornerstone. Ensuring that genetic diversity and maintaining robust, healthy populations in captivity as that critical safeguard.
The genetic safety net we talked about?
Precisely. And tracking wild red pandas using those collars and cameras is invaluable for habitat preservation. By understanding their precise movements, their preferred territories, how they interact with their environment.
You know where to protect.
Exactly. Researchers can accurately identify the most critical habitats that need protection, design more effective conservation corridors to link fragmented populations, and monitor the impact of human activity or climate change. It highlights that indispensable link between rigorous, data-driven science and practical, impactful conservation on the ground.
So putting it all together, what does this mean for the future of these enchanting creatures? What does it all boil down to?
Fundamentally, it boils down to the power of passion, relentless dedication, and critically seamless collaboration.
Passion, dedication, collaboration.
Yes. The unwavering dedication to protecting red pandas and their crucial habitats, exemplified by those heroes we mentioned, is truly inspiring and infectious. Their passion for detailed research and widespread education isn't just academic. It translates directly into tangible action, empowering local communities, informing policy, raising global awareness.
And collaboration is key because...
Because red pandas naturally don't respect national borders.
Good point.
So our conservation efforts can't either. Sophisticated collaboration between countries, diverse organizations, NGOs, governments, research institutions, and local communities is what truly amplifies these efforts. There's even a specific urgent action plan now focused on supporting cutting-edge research for climate change mitigation strategies relevant to their habitat, recognizing that these huge environmental challenges require global, coordinated, interdisciplinary responses.
So everyone needs to work together.
Essential. This interdisciplinary work and robust international cooperation are absolutely vital in global conservation, knitting together diverse expertise, limited resources, and collective will to tackle problems on the immense scale required to truly save a species like the red panda.
Okay, so there's passion, dedication, collaboration. Despite the grim numbers and the serious threats, you're saying there's genuine reason for optimism.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, yes, I believe there is. There's hard-won reason for optimism, with real, measurable progress being made in some areas.
Like the population increase in Nepal.
Exactly. We've seen undeniable population increases in certain protected areas, which is a clear, powerful indicator that dedicated conservation efforts, when properly funded and implemented, can reverse declines and foster recovery.
That's huge.
Successful breeding programs in zoos continue to strengthen that vital genetic safety net and provide a potential source for future reintroductions, maintaining healthy captive populations. And perhaps most importantly, there's a rapidly growing global awareness and an expansion of conservation efforts moving from just localized initiatives to broader international campaigns, partly thanks to their media profile.
So the needle is moving.
The tangible progress shows us that the path forward, while undoubtedly challenging and requiring sustained long-term effort, is not insurmountable. It's a testament both to the incredible resilience of nature itself and the profound effectiveness of human intervention when it's driven by knowledge, compassion, and a shared purpose.
That's incredibly encouraging to hear. Which brings us to the crucial question for us, the listeners. What can we do? What are the practical, tangible steps people can take to contribute to this fight? It's easy to feel overwhelmed, right?
It is easy to feel overwhelmed, but individual actions, when multiplied across communities, create immense, undeniable impact. The path forward includes those ambitious but achievable goals we mentioned, like expanding protected habitats by 50%. That requires collective will, sustained financial support, political commitment, things individuals can influence through advocacy.
Okay, advocacy. What else?
Launching and supporting global awareness campaigns is crucial. The more people know, understand, and genuinely care, the more pressure there is for meaningful action from governments and corporations.
Using our voices.
Absolutely. And for you specifically, supporting research for climate change mitigation is a direct way to combat one of the biggest threats to their habitat. This includes tangible actions like donating to reputable, impactful conservation groups.
Oh, but
The Red Panda Network is a great example, focused specifically on them.
donate.
Spread accurate awareness on your social media platforms. Amplify their story, share reliable information, counter the myths,
Share responsibly.
yes, and make conscious choices in your daily life to reduce your personal carbon footprint. Driving less, consuming less, supporting sustainable businesses. These aren't just small gestures. They're essential, interconnected contributions. They help combat the climate change that threatens the bamboo forests they depend on.
So it all ties together. Our actions matter.
They absolutely matter. It requires sustained, collective effort from all of us to secure a future for red pandas and, by extension, the ecosystems they represent. Hashtag outro.
Wow. We have covered a vast amount of ground in this deep dive. From their shining cat origins nestled way up in the mystical eastern Himalayas, right through to their sometimes complicated viral internet fame.
Quite the journey.
Their solitary yet captivating lives navigating those dense bamboo forests, and those truly heartwarming stories of profound human connection they inspire. We've seen that red pandas are incredibly resilient, undeniably adorable, and critically important to the health and biodiversity of their unique ecosystems. Their remarkable biology, from that ingenious pseudo-thumb to their super-efficient fur adaptations, it just showcases nature's incredible ingenuity. While their journey through pop culture reminds us of our shared, maybe inherent fascination with the wild and the power of empathy.
Well summarized. And as we've thoroughly explored, conservation efforts truly do make a tangible difference. Community support is undeniably powerful. The threats they face are real and urgent: that rampant habitat loss, the ruthless poaching, the pervasive impact of climate change.
But the response is growing too.
Exactly. So too are the dedicated organizations and passionate individuals tirelessly fighting for their survival. You listening now can make a difference. You can help save red pandas by donating to credible conservation groups like the Red Panda Network or others working in the region. You can spread accurate awareness on social media, amplifying their critical story, not just the cute pictures. And importantly, by actively reducing your own carbon footprint to combat climate change, that major overarching threat to their vulnerable habitat. Every single action, no matter how small it might seem, contributes meaningfully to the bigger picture of their survival.
So, what does this all mean fundamentally for us? Thinking beyond just the red panda itself, perhaps this animal, with its unassuming charm, its incredible resilience, and its very precarious existence, serves as this powerful, living symbol for the delicate balance of our entire planet.
A free little ambassador for planetary health.
Maybe. When we protect a species like the red panda, when we fight passionately for its habitat, for its continued existence, are we not also, in a deeper, more profound sense, protecting ourselves? Protecting our shared future? Safeguarding the natural world that ultimately sustains us all?
It certainly feels that way.
It's just a vivid reminder, isn't it, that our fates are inextricably intertwined with species like the red panda, and that caring for even the lesser among us, maybe especially the lesser among us, can illuminate a clear, hopeful path towards a more harmonious and sustainable future for everyone.